Hey, Lobos Ben Johnson here to show you how to use the Google Classroom. That's the tool I'm recommending this year if you want to put your handouts up online, you want to assign worksheets, you want to accept worksheets. It really is the quickest, easiest way to accomplish that. So how do you do it? So from the Rocky homepage, you'll go to Quick Links, and then you'll just click on the Google Classroom. It'll take you to the PSD single sign-on, where you'll just use your PSD username and password to get signed in. Note, if you're signed in with your personal Gmail, you'll have to um, sign out in order for it to work. If you ever forget the Rocky homepage, you can always just go directly there by typing in classroom.google.com. Now, the first thing that you may have to do if you're new to the Google Classroom is click on either teacher or student. I've used it before, so you're not seeing that. So of course, you'll click on teacher. After you've clicked on teacher, then you'll click this plus sign and you're going to create a class. Your students will be joining a class, otherwise it's identical. So you'll create the class, you'll type in the class name, and then the period. By the way, you should make a class for each period. It's just going to be easier to keep your students separated by period than mixing them all together. Google Classroom is going to make a new classroom for you. If the background doesn't match your class, just go ahead and select a theme here, and there's lots of nice ones that you can choose from, and then select that theme. If you can't find one you like, you can upload a photo that you make or one that you find just doing a Google image search for a banner with your subject area. They're already pre-made and you just save them and upload them, which is a nice way to get those. This class code is how your kids add your class, and by the way, this is how all the sharing happens automatically. Whenever you share something with your students, because of this class code, they'll automatically get those things. Whenever they share something with you through the classroom, you'll automatically get that. You don't have to think about the permissions. The Google Classroom takes care of that for you, and that's what makes this so fast and easy. So I would just write PMU 7791. I don't know if that's a 1 or an I, so you can always reset that if you need one that's easier. So I would do ADPPVT up on my whiteboard. And when my period 2 astronomy students show up, I'd have them go to classroom.google.com, hit the plus sign, join, type in this ADPPVT, then they're in your class. Okay, you're going to primarily be using the stream. You can make announcements and you can add assignments. And so if you want to do an assignment, it's sort of a two-part step. So if you open a new tab, you can just go to your Google Drive just by typing in drive.google.com, and you can just go ahead and make a new worksheet, or you can upload or copy and paste an existing worksheet. So I'll just do new doc, and this is where I would just go ahead and name it maybe worksheet 1, whatever you want to call it. And then here's where you would type the prompts for your students. So this would be a question. They're going to type an answer. Here's another question. You can put whatever you want on this worksheet. It could be an organizer, anything you want. You can even insert drawings if you need to, equations, the whole 9 yards. So this is just a silly example. Hopefully yours will be much nicer than this. Now remember, I don't have to do anything with the sharing here because that all happens via the Google Classroom. So now I go back to my classroom. I want them to do that worksheet, and so I just add an assignment, and just for the sake of time I'm just going to call it worksheet 1. And I can put a description. I can do a due date and a time if I want to, although it's not necessary. Completely up to you. If so, you just click on this calendar and punch those things in. Okay, now this little icon is for the Google Drive, and that's how you'll attach your worksheet. And so you can just search for whatever you called it, and there it is. And now I can just go ahead and do this. And this is where the magic happens. By default, the students can view that file, and that would be like making a photocopy that you're going to give each kid, but they can't do anything with it. If I want them to be able to write and return on that, then I want to do make a copy for each student. So probably most of the things you're going to give your students are going to be a make a copy for each student. And that's going to allow them to type on that and return it to you electronically. Very slick, and that's what makes this such a nice tool. In the past it was a pain in the neck to accomplish this. Now it's automatically, permissions are shared, everything just works really slick. Okay, now I can assign this, or I could save it as a draft if I wasn't quite ready, but I'm going to go ahead and assign it. And so what now just happened is every kid that's in my class, or every kid that eventually joins my class, gets a copy of this worksheet. they're going to be able to click on it, open it up, type their responses, and then on the top of their Google Doc is going to be a little button that says turn in. So they'll hit that turn in, and as your kids turn things in, you'll see 1 done, 2 done, and those will just keep automatically showing up until everyone's turned it in. They can turn it in after the due date, but it will tell you that it was late, and so that's also a nice feature. And then for you to collect those, all you do is just click on this number of students that are done. It'll bring up all of their assignments. You can comment and type right on their work, and then at the top of your page there will be a button that says return. You'll hit that return button, it'll go right back to the student with your feedback on it, and you can even type a score in that return box as well. So it's a really slick way to give students handouts, worksheets, advanced organizers. With every student having a laptop, there's really no excuse not to be using this to some extent. Okay. One other thing I want to show is here on the assignments. In addition to making a copy for each student, I just want to show you that you could also say this was a collaborative project and maybe you had a slideshow or something. You could also say that students can edit the file, and then that would allow every student in the class to work on that presentation. Maybe you want them to do some sort of an icebreaker or something. You could make a Google slideshow, attach it here, and then just say students can edit file. Then every kid in your class would be able to add a slide to that presentation and make a collaborative slideshow. So that's something that you might want to do down the road. So I just wanted to point that out to you, and I'll assign that also. Now, in addition to Google Docs, you can attach files. So if you had a Word doc or an old PowerPoint, you could attach those, or a PDF. It's just they're not going to be interactive. So you really want to try to do those through your Google Drive. If you need help with that, just let me know. Maybe you've got a TED Talk you want your students to watch and then comment on. You could go ahead and attach a YouTube video. Maybe you've got a web link. Maybe you've made a Google form that you want to do as an assessment. You would actually add that link to that Google form here or to the website. So you've got those options as well. And so here I would just, if I wanted to do a YouTube video, I'll just pull that up and add that YouTube video. Now students will be able to comment below these assignments also, so you could have them watch this video with their earbuds and then comment down below. Some neat things happen there because some of your shy students will shine, whereas they'd be embarrassed to speak up in front of their classmates. So really neat options here. Some teachers are using this almost like a Facebook, where they're just letting students have conversations, and by default students can post here in this stream. If you want to turn that off, you can go to your students. I don't have any yet, but you can see how I can say students can only comment, or only the teacher can post or comment but by default they can post and comment, which turns out to be a pretty neat experience. Most of the teachers that have allowed students to do that enjoy it. So give it a shot, see how it works. If I had a student who was inappropriate and they were on this list, I could check their name and then go to actions, and I could mute that student. Now just for your general websites and maybe your syllabus, stuff like that, you can put in this About tab. And so that's what this About tab gets used for. Your syllabus, your expectations, websites that you use, maybe your textbook. You can just, in this About section, you can just go ahead and begin adding materials down below. So if I had some class website, I could just go ahead and add that. Maybe you've already made a Google site or something. I could just go ahead and add that, and I can post that. So these three the stream is where you'll do your assignments, announcements. Students is where you can manage students, although you may never even use this. And then the About is where you can post your class website, your textbook, syllabus, expectations, things like that. All right, so that was just a real quick and dirty how-to with the Google Classroom. If you need any help, please let me know. Super easy. I think you'll like it. We can certainly save a whole lot of paper and money and ink by going this route. Plus, we can get our students prepared for their future using this technique also. So lots of perks to it. Have a great year, Rocky.